Hello, I'm Cashman. Let me show you how money really works.
Most people think financial freedom comes from earning more money. So they work longer hours, chase bigger promotions, max out retirement accounts, and keep pushing harder every year. But there's a problem almost nobody talks about. Many high earners are still financially fragile. Their income may be impressive, their retirement accounts may look healthy, and their lifestyle may appear successful from the outside. But the actual infrastructure behind their money is weak. In this video, I'm going to show you why many professionals between the ages of 35 and 55 unknowingly operate inside what I call the retail extraction model, a system where your money works harder for the bank than it does for you. More importantly, I'll show you how some wealthy families and strategic investors build private financial infrastructure designed around liquidity, leverage, and velocity instead of simply accumulation. Later in this video, I'll show you the exact shift that changes someone from being a customer inside the financial system into someone who begins thinking like the system itself. Miss this shift, and you may spend the next 20 years building wealth on paper while remaining financially restricted in real life. Most people still view banks as safe containers for money, a place to deposit paychecks, store savings, and maybe finance a home or car. But banks do not see your money the same way you do. To them, your deposits are raw material. The moment your paycheck lands inside their institution, it becomes fuel for their lending engine. They pay you less than 1% to hold your cash while lending that same money out through mortgages, business loans, credit cards, and commercial lending products at dramatically higher rates. The difference between what they pay you and what they earn is called the spread. That spread is one of the most powerful wealth-building mechanisms in modern finance. And most people never participate in it. They simply supply the fuel. But here's where things become dangerous for high earners. Many professionals eventually reach a stage where their income rises faster than their financial understanding. They become successful on paper while remaining structurally exposed underneath. They accumulate retirement assets, brokerage balances, and home equity, but very little accessible liquidity. At first, this feels secure, until life collides with timing. A parent gets sick. A business opportunity appears during a market downturn. A layoff happens at the exact wrong moment. Suddenly, the person with $2 million tied up across retirement accounts and illiquid assets discovers something terrifying. Their wealth exists, but access does not. Growth without liquidity can become a trap. That realization changes the way sophisticated investors think about money entirely. They stop focusing only on accumulation and start focusing on velocity. Not just how much wealth they own, but how efficiently that wealth can move, adapt, and create new opportunities without destroying long-term growth. This is where the concept of a personal shadow banking system begins. Now let me be clear. This is not some secret underground loophole, and it certainly is not magic money. What some private investors call a shadow bank is simply a personal financial structure designed to maximize control, liquidity, and strategic leverage. The goal is not reckless debt. The goal is controlled access. And there's a major difference between the two. Leverage magnifies intelligence and magnifies stupidity equally. If someone lacks discipline, stable cash flow, or emotional control, these strategies can become destructive very quickly. But when used carefully, they can fundamentally change how capital behaves over time. The first principle is understanding that wealthy individuals often avoid selling productive assets whenever possible. Most people follow a linear financial model. They buy investments, wait for growth, and eventually sell assets whenever they need cash. But every sale creates friction. Taxes reduce gains. Compounding stops on the sold portion. Future growth disappears. Sophisticated investors often think differently. Instead of liquidating assets, they may borrow against them strategically while allowing the underlying investments to continue growing. For example, imagine an investor with an $800,000 diversified portfolio. Instead of selling $150,000 worth of investments to purchase a cash-flowing business or real estate opportunity, they establish a securities-backed line of credit against the portfolio. The portfolio remains invested, The assets continue compounding. Dividends continue flowing. Meanwhile, the borrowed capital is deployed into another productive asset designed to generate additional income or appreciation. This is where velocity begins, not because the money is magically duplicated, but because the same underlying asset base is supporting multiple layers of financial activity at once. That is how institutions think. Most people optimize income. Institutions optimize access. And that single shift changes almost everything. Question of the day. Have you ever had money tied up somewhere while an opportunity passed you by because you couldn't access it fast enough? Drop your answer in the comments below. Now, there's another layer to this conversation that often creates confusion online. Private cash value insurance strategies, sometimes called infinite banking. Unfortunately, this topic gets exaggerated constantly by financial influencers promising unrealistic outcomes. So let's ground this in reality. Properly structured cash value policies are not miracle investments. They are not designed to outperform aggressive equity portfolios over long periods. But for some high-income households, they can function as a conservative liquidity reserve, operating alongside traditional investments. That distinction matters. In certain structures, the cash value grows steadily, while also providing the ability to borrow against the policy without liquidating the underlying value. Some families use this as part of a broader strategy for liquidity management, estate planning, tax efficiency, or legacy protection. Again, this is not free money. Policy loans have costs. Insurance products have fees. Poorly designed policies can become inefficient very quickly. But disciplined investors sometimes value stability and access just as much as raw growth, because financial stress often appears during moments when liquidity disappears. And that brings us to the real transformation behind this entire conversation. The wealthiest systems in the world are not built around consumption. They are built around infrastructure. The average consumer thinks transactionally. Institutional thinkers think structurally. The average person asks, "How much money do I make?" Institutional thinkers ask, "How many systems control the movement of my money?" That is an entirely different mindset. By year 5 or 10 of disciplined financial infrastructure building, many strategic investors begin reaching a point where dividends, cash flow, and leveraged assets start covering larger portions of their lifestyle expenses. At that stage, work begins transforming from survival into optionality. That is real financial freedom. Not flashy cars, not internet flexing, not pretending to be rich online while drowning in payments behind closed doors. True opulence is controlled flexibility. It is the ability to move without panic, to deploy capital without destroying long-term growth, to survive volatility without emotional collapse, to create opportunities instead of waiting for permission. The middle class is trained to focus on earning money. Institutions focus on engineering money. And the moment you understand the difference, your entire financial life begins to change. You spent the first half of your career learning how to generate income. Now it's time to learn how to build infrastructure. Audit the friction inside your financial life. Find the leaks. Increase liquidity. Protect productive assets. Stop thinking only like a consumer of financial products and begin thinking like the steward of a private financial system. Because wealth is not just about how much money you own. It's about how much control your money creates. Now that you know financial freedom is not just about accumulating money, but building systems that increase liquidity, leverage, and control, you're going to need to know how the wealthy legally reduce taxes while the average worker keeps losing more of their income every single year. If you don't know this, you may spend decades building wealth only to watch taxes, inflation, and poor financial structure quietly drain your future behind the scenes. The secret strategies are in my next video, where we break down the hidden tax strategies and financial structures that allow high-income households to protect more of what they earn and accelerate long-term wealth far faster than traditional financial advice ever teaches. You don't want to miss it. See you in our next video.